I'm presenting on behalf of the Ghana team, which includes several people based in Ghana and a number of people based here in the UK. I intend to start with a couple of slides talking about bats in general, and then say a few words about the study areas, and then narrow down to the sort of situations that bring people in contact with bats and the risk of disease that this poses. So fruit bats in Ghana, there are 13 species reported. In this particular study, we recorded 10 of the 13. They occur all across the country, as you can see a bit later on. The most abundant species are the two species, Eidolon and Epimetheus. Globally, approximately 70% of emerging and re-emerging human infections are zoonotic. We've heard about Ebola and what happened a couple of years ago. Bats are known to be reservoirs of zoonotic viruses. More than 60 viruses have been detected in tissue, including several viruses. And in this particular case study, what we are interested in is the henipavirus, which causes encephalitic disease in humans and domestic animals with extremely high case fatality. We had two overarching hypotheses in the Ghana case study. The first one was spillover of henipavirus is occurring in Ghana, and there are high-risk groups for henipavirus exposure based on ecosystem service use and practices. The second one is spillover dynamics, and henipavirus transmission differ between urban and rural sites. But today what I'm going to present to you is actually a very small part of the study that is dealing with interactions between people and bats. The study size, we have 3 study sites: Yaa Sacred Grove in Brong-Ahafo region of Ghana, then Golokwati in the Volta region, and 37 Military Hospital in Accra. A few words about the sites themselves. Those of you who have had the opportunity to go to Accra, the Military Hospital is the second biggest hospital. It's in the center of Accra, a very busy transport bus station, and what hits you is the huge flock of bats that occur in trees in this place right in the center of Accra. So that's the urban area, and then we have 2 rural areas. Yaa is a sacred grove. This is a community forest designated by the people in the community, and so really the bats are in the forest and interaction occurs when people go into the forest. And the third site is Golokwati in the Volta region. This is a small town, and it is a very unique situation where you actually have the bats in people's homes. So people are living with the bats. So those are the 3 study sites. The team, a multidisciplinary team of ecologists, veterinary scientists, and social scientists. For the ecological studies, we mapped the distribution and population dynamics of bats. The sociological studies looked at the historical, social, and cultural dimensions and understandings of bats and disease. And then the disease dynamics involved surveillance of bats, domestic animals, and human populations for evidence of henipavirus seroprevalence. So where are the bats? Where do we find them? I've already said that they are practically everywhere. Nearly 6,000 bats belonging to 10 species were caught and sampled Eidolon and Epimorphos were the most abundant, accounting for over 75% of all catches. Roosts were reported from 86 locations. We use the citizen science approach for people to report to us where they find bat roosts, and then we followed it up to check them out. 95% of the roosts investigated occurred within 50 meters of buildings or homes. So that shows you how very close the bats are to human habitation. And several of the roosts are found in cities and in towns, which means very high possibility of human interaction with bats and multiple opportunities for disease spillover. That map there shows our attempt to correlate where the bats are and really demonstrate how close the bats are to people. In terms of how humans interact with bats, we talked to 340 respondents, males, females, young, old, different age groups, different educational backgrounds from no formal education to university level. Livelihood activities included farming, gardening, petty trading, artisans, the whole lot, just to give you a flavor of the number of people we interacted with. So how do humans interact with bats? The primary direct exposure is through hunting, where people hunt bats for food or for sale. And the second direct exposure is through either processing fresh bat meat, sale of fresh bat meat, or consumption of bat meat that is not cooked properly. Indirect exposure, farming, fruit collection, activities that take people into the forest, animal husbandry, several cases where pigs were found either interacting with bats in various ways, eating dead bats. And a very unique thing in the town of Golokwate, where you see the lady there, she's eating her food and she has a lot of things that she's selling, vegetables and so on. And in that tree is a huge bat roost. So droppings and feces and urine cannot drop onto those things that are being sold. Living with bats, I've already alluded to this. Again, a very unique situation where you see that tree, huge roost of bats directly in the middle of somebody's house. Here you see Paul, we took him there, director of ESPA, to see the place. And this work of art resulting from people and bats. Another unique thing, household chores, food preparation in open under bat roofs, rainwater harvesting, people collecting water into open containers, recreation under bat roofs in schools and church grounds. These children are playing and there's a huge roost of bats above them. So preliminary data analysis on Luminex binding indicate henipavirus spillover from bats to people is occurring. What does all this mean? And we refer to Plowright and his authors, the series of hierarchical enabling conditions required for spillover. Reservoir host must be present, host infested, recipient host exposed, recipient host must be susceptible to the virus. And we look at Golokwate and Tano Grove, the two areas, the bat species presence of the virus, the direct and indirect exposure, showing how very close the relationship between humans and bats are. So in conclusion, bats are found in many places in Ghana in very close proximity to human habitation. Livelihood options and social activities greatly facilitate interactions between people and bats. So you have ecosystem services like the trees and the shade, which makes people sit under the shade, but at the same time exposes them to but urine and feces. Multiple opportunities for disease spillover, major implications for policy, health, and poverty issues, and quite clearly there's a major need for systematic surveillance of zoonotic diseases in humans, domestic animals, and target wild animals. One of the speakers referred to the fact that a lot of illnesses are attributed to malaria. If you complain of fever in any West African country, it's attributed to malaria, and sometimes you are giving malaria treatment even before tests are done. And so until we have this sort of systematic surveillance, it will be difficult to understand the interrelationships. Thank you very much.